I'll never be consistent. So why even try? I have tried programs before and I couldn't follow through. I don't have the time. My life is just way too busy. If you're still holding on to these stories, it's no wonder you feel like you're stuck in the same exact pattern. But here's what I personally learned. Here's what I've seen our babes be coached through. You can rewrite this narrative. What's going on, everybody? Hey, my friends. Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I'm your host, Nikki Stott, and welcome to today's episode number 264. And in today's episode, actually, before I dive into what the topic's going to be about, thank you, my friends. Thank you, you guys, for answering my little question box on my Instagram story the other day where I put a request for ideas, topics, things you wanted to learn, things that you wanted to have answered. I asked you guys to give me topics and you guys gave me a ton. And I appreciate you guys because I felt like I was in a dry spell of topics to bring to this podcast. So you guys reignited my creative mind to come to these episodes with new, fresh ideas or ideas that I didn't even think about that y'all want to hear about. So thank you. Today's episode is inspired by one of the requests that you guys put in. I have so many, so gear up for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be diving into all of those topics you guys mentioned, at least majority of them. But today's episode is one that it's going to land pretty deep. I'll be honest. You guys know I love the mindset aspect of things because I think it's so important. Like most of the time, it's not the workouts and the macros that hold you back. It's the mind. So today we're going to talk about something that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about enough. We're going to talk about like the mental barriers that keep you from even wanting to show up for your higher self. There's been a couple episodes that I've recorded where I've talked about you becoming your higher self and how you need to start showing up like her right now because then you're going to close the gap to getting to her quicker. But like there's usually resistance to even trying to start that process. And that resistance comes from like these invisible stories, these patterns that keep you stuck in where you are. It's like the quiet voice of like, why even bother? Like I'm too far gone. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because if we're being really honest, some of you guys are probably listening to this right now thinking like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Like I signed up for X, Y, and Z, but I'm feeling stuck. Why even bother? I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. And before we even dive into this, I want you guys to know that you are seen, heard, and understood. I want to tell you that you are not broken. What you are feeling is valid. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You are just stuck in old stories. And that's what I want to say today is like, I'm going to show you guys how to start breaking through them. So you can start like on the other side of those walls. That's where you can step into, I'm going to show up like for my highest self today. I'm going to show up acting like her today. Once we can break down those walls, because on the other side of it, it's like you are the most confident, you are the most vibrant, you are the most strong self. That person's waiting for you, but we got to break through these old stories or these patterns that make you feel motivated, that make you feel lazy. Okay. So let's start by naming maybe some of these barriers that you guys, make, and I'm taking into like a court to like what I've heard women say when I've coached them at the beginning stages of their journey. And I want to name some of these barriers because maybe they resonate with you. Maybe they don't. Maybe I'm missing a few, but maybe a few will. And bringing the awareness to them is everything. If we can name these barriers and you can have awareness to them, that's like half the battle. And then when you can have awareness to them, you can bring honesty to the situation. So for most of us, maybe the mental blocks sound like, I'll never be consistent. So why even try? I have tried programs before and I couldn't follow through. I don't have the time. My life is just way too busy. You see how those are like old stories. Like, I don't have the time. My life is too busy. Your life is too busy. Put yourself first, right? I'm too old to change. It's easier to just keep doing what I've always done. Do those at all sound familiar to you guys? These are like they're like quiet whispers that keep you in your comfort zone on a daily basis. And the crazy thing is that they're powerful because they feel so freaking real and so true. But here's the thing. They're not facts. They're just stories that along the way, along like, how many years you've been alive on this planet Earth, whether you're 35, 45, 55, 65, along the way, you've experienced so many things that these stories have gotten wired into your mind of trying or failing or being told that you just weren't enough or that you couldn't be or do what you set your mind to. And you know what's even more powerful than these stories is that it's your ability to see them. And then it's your ability to start choosing something different, right? If you can see these stories for what they are and they're not facts, like they're just stories that got wired along the way, like maybe you gave up a program because you were too busy and you didn't have the time, but that's just a story in that time of your life when you started to follow a program that you wired into your mind. Now you feel that same way about every single program you've tried, you're going to continue to try. When you see them, if you give yourself the ability to see them, you can start to choose something different. So first it's like, let me bring the awareness to these stories. Let me name these barriers. Then let me see them for what they actually are. Their stories are not facts. And now I want to choose something different. But first, before we start choosing something different, I just want to share where these stories are coming from because I think it's something so many women need to hear. Most of these mental barriers, most of these stories or patterns, they didn't come from you. And that's probably going to be like a light bulb moment or a mind-blowing emoji or something like that. I feel like it just needs a place there. Where they come from are messages that you absorbed growing up about your body, about your worth, about your role as a woman. Or they came from diet culture that told you that you'll never be enough unless you're smaller or you're thinner or you're X, Y, and Z. Or they've come from, and this is probably majority where they come from for you guys, is past failures that made you think that you're not capable of being successful in another program that you're going to try moving forward. How many of, I feel like that's actually probably one of the hardest things, or one of the biggest things that I've heard people have the hardest time breaking through, is because they latch on to that wired story in their mind of something that they've tried before, whether it be keto, intermittent fasting, or program after program after program. They have all these past failures. And because they haven't had any success with them, it's been 10 years, it's been 15 years. And they found inadequacy in that. And they found that they're not capable because they haven't been able to follow through for themselves. And listen to me. If you're still holding on to these stories, it's no wonder you feel like you're stuck in the same exact pattern. But here's what I personally learned. Here's what I've seen our babes be coached through. You can rewrite this narrative. And it's a lot more easier said than done, but you can totally do it. You can choose to say, I'm not defined by what happened to me. I can create a new story. I can make myself feel safe in a better dynamic with this program that I feel passionate about. I know that maybe be able to get me to where I want to be. I deserve to feel strong. I deserve to feel confident. I deserve to feel alive. I deserve to feel sexy. I deserve to feel wanted. I deserve to feel enough. No matter what's happened to me in the past. That's you rewriting those narratives. That's where the real change can start to begin. Once you can, okay, let me backtrack here to remind you guys what needs to happen along the way. You need to start naming these barriers, I don't have enough time, too busy, or this is just something that I've failed in the past before and I'm not capable of doing this program in the future. Bring awareness to this. When you bring awareness to this, you're going to be able to see it for what it is, as a fact, as a story, not a fact. And then you're going to be able to choose something different. And by you choosing something different is you rewriting this narrative. You can choose to say these things that are more empowering and of support to your higher self. I'm not defined by what happened to me. I deserve to feel all of these things regardless of what has happened to me in the past. If you can start there, really, it's by I've talked about how you can get to your future self and how you can start showing up to her, but you got to be able to meet this not with judgment. And I need to I need to say that because there's so many of us, it's a lot easier said than done. And we can look at all of the past things that we've done or felt or gone through or diet culture, and we can judge ourselves or judge the exterior things that have led us to create these stories for ourselves. Instead, I want you guys to approach it with a little bit more curiosity. Hey, while you're listening, if you're getting value from this episode, take a moment to tap that review button or share this podcast with a friend. It's a small gesture that goes a long way in helping more women find their way to feeling stronger and more confident in their skin. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to support this show. Okay? And I want to go even deeper here because I know that, or I hope that some of you guys are feeling this hard right now. Like you guys are like, yep, Nikki, you're totally speaking to me. I feel this, like what you're saying is really resonating with me. I've been creating these stories, holding on to these stories, or these stories have been morphed into my mind from all of these things of the past. And they're still here. They're still wired. They're still showing up in the experiences that I have today. There's a moment in every single journey where you just stop wanting it. And every single journey. How many times have you been in a journey, maybe even a relationship where you just stop wanting it? You're so tired of trying, you're so tired of failing, and you wonder, like, what's the point? Trust that I'm in like that sandbox with you too as well. Like I've been there feeling like the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be was just way, way, way too big. Like how many of you guys maybe have like 25 pounds to lose and you feel like that gap to where you want to be is just so big? Like I was never going to be her. Like, is that stuff that's going on in your mind? Like I'm never going to be her. Or I see all of these women, on WarriorBabe's testimonial page that are achieving these things, but you're in the mindset of like, I'm 50 pounds overweight, 10 pounds overweight. I feel like I'm a slob. I'm just never going to be her. Like the gap is so big. Like maybe it was just easier to accept like feeling stuck. But you know what I realized for myself in this? Like I'm never going to be her. Maybe it's easier just to feel this way. That part of me didn't want it. And it's so true. I've said in previous episodes before is like, you really have to want the part of you that you are working to become. Like you have to really want that. Like that part of me that didn't want it, that was really the part of me that was truly afraid of change, afraid of failing again, afraid of seeing how much further I had to go. And I'm sure you guys are feeling the same exact way. If you're in that place right now, know that you are not alone. And that version of you, the one that doesn't even want to try or doesn't want to put in the effort, she's just trying to keep you safe because she doesn't want to feel like she failed again. She doesn't want to feel afraid that she went into something and it's just the same pattern over and over and over again. She's just scared. But I say this with love because it could be a painful moment for you guys realizing these things, that you is not in charge anymore. Okay? So I'm going to kind of repeat that again for you guys because I want you all to understand and accept that. Like there's a moment in your fitness journey that you just stop wanting it. Like life gets too busy. These old patterns keep showing up. You're not consistent. You keep flopping on the weekends because that's just like how you always acted and how you've always been. And so now you're validating the old you into the present you. And you're like, so what's the point? I'm never going to be her. Maybe it's just better to feel like I'm stuck. Maybe I'm just going to continue to be comfortable where I'm at. It's just you being afraid. That's you being afraid of what could happen if I do actually succeed. Afraid of that change. Or you're afraid of, I don't want to keep rewriting this cycle over and over and over and over again of failing. And then like also when you have people that are supporting you around you, it's not that you're failing yourself, feel like you're failing them. And so when you have another opportunity right in front of you to help you get to where you want to be, you resort backwards because you're like, I'm never going to be able to be her. I'm not going to be able to get past these past failures. Know that that person of you is just scared, and you can honor her. You can see her. That's what this whole episode is about, is like seeing these things. I don't want you to just like wash that old you away. When I say that, I say it with love. The person's not in charge anymore. She's not in charge with her anymore, but you can give her gentle, like compassion and love because she's served you up until this point. But up until this point, it's okay to start breaking down that wall. Now, how do you start breaking down that wall though? And what can you actually do when you feel stuck behind these walls? The first step is you need to acknowledge the story. Like, you need to acknowledge what the story has been on repeat in your mind. Stop running for it. I want you to name it. Like, I want you to say out loud, I'm telling myself, I can't do this because story. Then here's the magic question to ask yourself. Is that true? Is that really true? Or is it just a story that's kept you playing small? Once you do that, the second thing that you can do is to connect with your higher self. So you can start to visualize that version of you who's already living the life that you want, who's showing up for herself even when it's hard. Like, what does she believe about herself? And then along with what does she believe about herself, what does she no longer tolerate? Okay, because I'll say, like, I'm going to use the past failures because you're going to fail moving forward. But this future you, this higher you, and I'm speaking from personal experience, isn't going to accept the failure and giving up. She's going to write the narrative of looking at it differently and being like, okay, I may have, quote unquote, failed at this, or I didn't do this the right way. What can I learn from this? And how can I do it differently next time? Because that's going to keep you climbing the ladder to your higher self rather than you completely shutting down. So what are you no longer going to tolerate? What do you believe about yourself in the future state? Like, are you somebody that is busy all of the time? Are you going to believe that about yourself? Are you going to believe that you're too busy to make the time for yourself to focus on your health and to focus on, your well-being, to take action on a daily basis, to eat better and to work out and to get your workouts done? Are you going to believe that about you? Okay. And then the third thing is just trying to implement this on a daily basis, like taking one small action on a daily basis. Because here's the truth. If you take action, that's going to kill your self-doubt. And then the more action that you take that's more in alignment with who you believe to be about your future self and what she no longer tolerates and how she's showing up for herself, even when it's hard, that more action that you take, that's going to kill the self-doubt or stories and start to unwire those stories that don't serve you and start to rewire a new narrative. And you're going to notice that in like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months of doing this, those old stories aren't really, they're going to show up, but they're not showing up as heavily or as weighed down as they can feel. Okay. When you start implementing this, the real payoff is the woman that you're becoming. When you start like breaking through these mental barriers, when you stop letting these old stories run the show, when you start to see the woman that you're meant to be, the one who doesn't skip workouts because she's tired, or she finds a way to move because she knows who she is, or she feels her body like she deserves it because she knows her worth. She feels her feelings but doesn't let them dictate her actions. That woman, like, she's already you. You just have to stop playing small and start showing up for her. Your feelings, how you feel along the course of the way, those are just the old stories trying to trickle their way through. The feelings are valid. You can feel them, but you don't let them dictate your next action. You don't let them hold you and continue to be small and continue to be like the old you. You got to act as your future self would act. And that's where you take the action and you start to show up like her. You just have to stop playing small and you have to start showing up like her. I feel like I just unleashed an episode on you guys. And if this woke something up in you, share it with a friend, please. Like, I just want to continue to create a ripple effect of women who are done living by old rules and they're open to doing this work that allows them to get deeper within themselves and to start to truly, like, this can be applied in all areas of life. But since this is a fitness and nutrition podcast, this is the one thing you can take a look at in your bucket of your life, right? There's relationships, marriage, friendships, work, all wealth, like all these areas, but health and fitness, you can take a look at how you show up like this in the health and fitness world. And if you can start to apply what we just walked through today in this episode, you can start to then ripple affect it into the other buckets of your life. And trust, like I've seen women do this. They start in this bucket and then everything else changes in their entire world. And I want that nothing more than for you guys. All right. I want you to break down these barriers for good. I want you guys to know that you're not dictated by these past stories. They're not facts and you can rewrite them. So until next time, I love you guys. Stay strong. Most importantly, like I said earlier, stay curious and keep just reaching for that version of you she's already there. She's just waiting for you to like step into her. And you got to do the work to get there. And this is like a crash course on the work that you can do to get there. Okay? Love you guys. See you in the next episode. Peace out. Real quick, if this episode resonated with you or gave you the push that you needed, I'd love for you to pay it forward. Drop a quick rating and review, share the podcast with someone who might need it, and help me keep spreading the word. Your feedback not only helps the show grow, but it might just be the nudge someone else needs to kickstart their transformation. Thank you so much for your support.